Hi, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the 2 for 1 podcast.
Where you get two of us for the price of one.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Becky, and today's episode is all about girl talk. We've had a look at the internet's most popular questions that people are too scared to ask their friends, parents, and partners. And we're going to be answering them for you today.
So the first topic that we're going to discuss today is all about relationships. So the first question is, how important is spending good quality time with your other half? What do you think?
I think it's very important, but I feel like I've mentioned this in the past before. It's important to have like quality time rather than a lot of time. So like you could spend like a couple of hours a night completely like just like sat next to each other not talking, or you could spend like, I don't know, 2 hours every couple of days for like proper quality time. And I feel like you get a lot more out of that than meaningless time together. Not meaningless, but I think you know what I mean.
No, I know what you mean, yeah. Because for instance, I've never like lived with a boyfriend for like a long period of time. But for instance, if I've been with somebody and we've only been able to see each other either like one day after work, another weekend, so like 1.5 days really out of the whole week, then we would make an effort to do stuff. So like we'd like go for food after work, and then on Saturday we'd do like a day out. So even though we're not together a lot of the time, we would still like obviously speak, but we're doing like proper like date days and date nights rather than just not really doing anything.
Yeah, definitely. And I think in general, quality time is important to like properly get to know someone.
Yeah.
Like you can't be in a proper relationship and like not know anything about them.
Yeah, definitely. And I think quality time is a reflection of like the effort that you put in as well.
Yeah.
So I firmly believe that like you get out of a relationship what you put in. So if you put a lot of like effort in, then you'll get like the good quality time back.
Yeah. So the next question is, what's the best way to express love for your partner? Do you want to go first?
Okay, so I mean, I think it's different for different people, isn't it? Personally, for myself, I'm quite like a tactile person, so I'm like a bit of like a hand holder, a hugger, like I'm quite touchy-feely. But I'm very into like telling someone that I love them, like, because I think, you hear these stories and it's like, I didn't tell like my partner that I loved them like as much as I should have done, if someone's like passed away. Like I always think like you shouldn't have like regrets like that. You should always, make it known how you feel about someone.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was the same as my answer.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Yeah. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, mainly that it's like different for like different people, obviously. So like, because some people don't like touchy-feeliness, like I do. I think that for me shows like a certain level of like comfort and affection, like as well as being comfortable emotionally, like talking to someone, like being able to tell someone you love them, like to be at that sort of stage. Yeah, I'm very much the same.
Yeah,
but
so I don't know about you, but like I could never really like be with someone who wasn't like that, because I would just think that they didn't love me, because that's how I equate love.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I think I've mentioned this before in the past. I was with someone, like we went on like 3 or 4 dates, but they were very just like not really, and I was just like, I really don't know how to read this situation. Like you obviously want to keep spending time with me, but then like you don't show it in the way that I associate it. So I was just like, oh my god, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Okay, so now the next question I think is quite a popular one that lots of people want to know the answer to, and it's, if your partner had friends of the opposite sex, how would this make you feel?
Yeah. See, I used to be very insecure, very jealous, and I would have had an issue. However, now that I'm a lot more confident in myself, and I also have friends who are male, one of which is my ex, that's not normal. That's like the next step. But I know that it's very easy to have is it platonic?
Yeah.
Is that what it means? Platonic relationship with someone of the opposite sex. It doesn't mean you're attracted to them. So now, like, I think having the experience of that, and also being more secure in myself, I would not be worried, because it's like, if you want to be with me, that doesn't matter. But if you're like sleeping with your friend who's a girl, then just don't be with me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've definitely changed my view on that over the last few years. But now I probably couldn't care less. Oh, just kick the camera.
Yeah, so I probably agree with what you've just said. So for me, I've always gotten on really well with boys. Like, I've always had like male friends like hanging around, and I don't know, just feel really comfortable with them, and I'd never look twice at them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't even like occur to me. So I feel like if I was ever jealous, if my boyfriend had a female friend, then I'd be a hypocrite. And also, I know that it is possible to have platonic relationships.
Yeah.
And nothing's gone on. So I think, even like you said, I think even if my boyfriend was friends with an ex, I think it would be different if they like moved on. That would probably make it a lot easier. But I think if they said to me, like, I've moved on, like, I'm obviously with you, I'm happy with you, then I wouldn't really be bothered, because, well, no, I don't think I would be. I think it would depend on the situation. But like what you said, you are just friends. So So I think if you saw them together and you saw that they were just friends.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. You'd have to sort of, well, it depends on your view, obviously, but I think seeing it for yourself is definitely a big comforter for it. And just like knowing, I suppose, like my friends know nothing's happened in the last like 2 years of me and Mike being friends. But like if something had, then obviously you'd be like, you've not moved on now, have you?
Yeah.
So I think like knowing the person and seeing them and stuff, like seeing them together. But I definitely think if you've been friends with someone first and there's not been that sexual connection or whatever, then there's a lot less to worry about, I think. Like if they've never gone there with them, then what's the problem?
Yeah, exactly.
I think rounding off is just like trust the person that you're with.
Yeah.
If they want to be with you, they want to be with you.
Yeah. And I think if you don't trust the person that you're with, then that's it, a major red flag.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be together ultimately.
Yeah. So the next question is, when do you think the best time is to meet your partner's parents for the first time?
So I think that this varies. Obviously, there's things like location factors. So if someone's parents live like quite close or live with the person, then I'd expect it to be sooner. But obviously, if they're farther away, then I'd expect it to be longer. I think for me personally, I don't like it to just be like a run-in. Like, I've had it before where like someone has been living with their parents and I've just like walked into the house and not realised that they're there, and I'm like, oh hi, I'm Sarah, like nice to meet you. Like I like it to be planned.
Yeah, I agree. I think part of it depends like what point in your life you're at as well. Like the younger you are, I think the earlier you should meet, because you know, parents want to like look after their kids. And I do agree about it depends if you live with them or if not. Because like now I could like date someone for a while before like introducing them to my parents.
Yeah.
But when I lived at home, it's like sort of first time they come round.
Exactly.
It's like, this is my boyfriend, this is my parents, me. But I think for me, it's more awkward doing that earlier, because it's like it's portrayed in the like society that that's a big step.
Yeah.
Mainly when you're older and have like moved out and moved away.
Yeah.
But when you're younger and like you literally have to introduce them, but then if it doesn't work out, then you've then got to explain that to your parents, and it's just like, I don't know. For me, I'd prefer to wait.
Yeah, same. I think it should definitely be after like the courtship, like
yeah,
after like you've dated and like you're officially like an item. Well, for me, it would as well. Otherwise, I mean, the main thing for me is my parents are quite like embarrassing, so I wouldn't want to like subject someone to that wasn't like
wasn't
gonna stick
prepared.
around. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do like, for me, meeting other people's parents, I agree with you. Like, I want to know what I'm getting into.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want to just like go around and then be like, oh, hi.
Yeah. I think that's so awkward.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is, when you're staying overnight at your partner's house, what's essential, or what would you take in your overnight bag?
See, again, I think this would depend whether they still live like at their parents' house or not. Like whether you have as much freedom, maybe. Maybe some like sexy underwear.
Yeah.
How much? Not how much underwear, but like how sexy you go. Maybe depends how much free range you've got. I don't know what
Dad's just walking in like.
Oh, but I don't really know. I've not done this for a while.
I mean, things that are in my overnight bag are usually things like razors, in case like you've missed like a patch anyway, you can just like, you're not like stressing about it. There's like, if you just like miss a patch on your leg and then you like feel it, then you can just like shave it. Other things like, as much as like, obviously you take like nice underwear to feel like sexy and confident in, I like to have like a nice like hoodie or like a nice top for in the morning, so you're just like comfortable. I like to take like, not obviously like a meal with me, not like a packed lunch, but like snacks.
In case like popcorn or something.
Yeah, or like, I don't know, like a breakfast bar, in case you like wake up earlier and like you don't want to go downstairs if like the parents are there, and then you can just like have something to eat in the morning. Yeah, is that just
you think about this a lot more than I do.
Well, I'm just thinking,
I can just rock up and be like,
hey. And then obviously like makeup.
Yeah.
Things that you take like overnight anyway, really. But I think you should just take things that will make you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Which is why I said about like a nice hoodie or something as well. And you're right, it depends like how much like free range you've got. You don't want to be taking like everything if like the parents are going to be there as well.
Yeah. I remember once I went round to my boyfriend's house. I was staying for the weekend as well, so that's technically only one night. But we'd be doing things like over his way, so then I'd need like, I don't know, not walking clothes, but like clothes to take the dog for a walk, clothes to go out for like a nice meal, so that kind of thing. But he lived with his parents, and then his mum made some comment about like, oh, are you moving in? And I was like, no, I've just brought enough, just in case. But I have the options.
I hate that, because I think sometimes it's harder to pack for one night as opposed to like a few nights, because you're still going to need like your hair straighteners, like things like that, like your toiletry bag, your makeup bag, the same amount of stuff you would probably need in terms of that for like the whole week.
Yeah.
Just for one night. Do you know what I mean? So I hate it when people say that.
Yeah. I mean, my mum says that all the time as well. And don't get me wrong, she was lovely, the boyfriend's mum. But also, like, he used to have rugby games on a Sunday. sometimes. So I'd be like, doing my makeup,
Yeah.
be the sexy wag. And then she'd like sometimes shout at the stairs like, "Oh, it's not a fashion show," and I was like, "Leave me alone." Let
She
me look
didn't say
nice.
that.
She did. I think we were probably late. But yeah, she was lovely though, bless her. But I think I'd have like enjoyed the banter a little bit more now, because at that point I was a bit shy, so I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
I'm sorry, come in.
I'm that's sexy AF. But yeah, so if you take too much, then the parents might comment.
I know. Yeah, that's true actually.
So the next sort of like topic of questions is friendship. So the first question is, are friendship dates just as important as relationship dates?
Yes.
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 I agree.
No,
I think
they are.
Yeah.
I think, like, in a relationship, you have dates that keep things like exciting and moving forward, don't you? Well, it's kind of like the same in like friendships. If you don't have friendship dates, how can you like you said before, if you don't have that quality time, how can you like learn more stuff about one another and move the friendship forward? Even though it's not in the same sense as that it's not romantic, it's the same purpose, really, isn't it?
Yeah, like you might have fewer friendship dates, obviously, than romantic dates. I do think they're like just as important. Like to just have a catch up and because I think gossip and like personal drama is like a bonding experience. To do that like on a friendship date is brings you closer as friends, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think all of that as well is like, it's just like a reason to bring you closer, isn't it? If there's like a bit of drama or gossip, it's like what binds, especially women together.
That's literally us this past year.
Us, yeah. But I think like to go out, and it's like the same as what we were saying before, to go out and like to make an effort.
Yeah.
It's like you get out what you put in. If you go out and make an effort with someone, then that will be like appreciated and reciprocated, and then it'll just like make your friendship stronger.
Yeah.
And
I think like sleepovers is like a childish word, but like staying over at someone's house in a friend way is similar to staying over at a boyfriend's house, obviously without anything happening. Just because I think in the evening you get a bit more like chilled.
Yeah.
You might have like a pamper night and like share more secrets, and then you get more comfortable because you're in like the vulnerable stage of the day when you're like going to bed, take all your makeup off, sort of thing. So I think that is like another.
And I don't know about you, but there's like, I've got like friends who I wouldn't necessarily like feel comfortable staying over at their houses. Like we're like acquaintances more than like friends. Like I think to stay over at someone's house, you've got to be like really good friends with them, haven't you? And it's like a different level of friendship almost.
Yeah, like we had to go to the pub before you came round to mine because you were scared.
Oh no, I'm not re-explaining myself.
No, I'm joking, but yeah, I agree. Like you have to feel comfortable enough to stay at someone's house. Yeah. Like I fully understood why you did that, to be honest.
Yeah,
Bless you. But yeah, you do have to feel comfortable, because if you're not, then it's like
yeah,
don't want to be.
And I think just from the point of view as well, like if anybody wanted to stay over at my house, they could. Like I would never be like to someone who I consider even like an acquaintance that you can't stay over. But just for me, I think I wouldn't. It's hard to explain, but I just wouldn't want to like invade their like sacred home if I wasn't like really good friends with them. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I feel a similar sort of way when like certain friends of mine, I don't know how to word this in the right way. I don't mean you, by the way. But like certain friends of mine who like still live at home, like I feel I don't mean you.
Just laughing.
Like they still live at home, and when you go, what?
Just spilled tea on my
Get
face.
my words out. Oh God. Do you need a break?
No, I'm fine, carry
Let
on.
me finish my story and then you can go and clean up. When you like going over to stay at someone's house, like sometimes I feel intrusive of like the parents, even though I've been invited. I would much rather go to my friend's house, like who lives on their own.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
But obviously,
Yeah.
it depends who, like, what the parents are like.
No, I know what you mean. Like, to be fair, my parents are really good in that sense of like, if I have friends over, then they'll like come and say hello, but then
Yeah.
we'll be like, oh, right, we'll leave you girls to like talk about whatever we're off out, or we're gonna go upstairs or whatever. So to be fair, they're really good at stuff like that. But I get it, like sometimes you don't want to be like going down in the morning when like maybe you haven't like slept the best and maybe not like looking your best and having to make conversation with someone's dad in the kitchen. Like I do get it. Like
my parents used to be like that. Like they would like say hi, come in and out like when they needed to. Like if we were in the kitchen making something, obviously if they needed to come into the kitchen, then they did. But they would sort of just like leave us to it. But yeah. So the next question is, how would you tell someone that you didn't want to be friends with them anymore? Now I don't really have an answer to this. So Sarah, take the floor.
I mean, so I have been in situations where people haven't been the best friend to me and I've not wanted to be friends with them anymore. And I think the best thing is just to be honest. And I would sit the person down and say, to be fair, I wouldn't cut them off just straight away. I'd give them like opportunity. So I'd say, listen, I don't think you've been a particularly good friend. I'd like us to like do more stuff together and I'd like you to be more supportive. But if that didn't improve, then I would sit them down and I'd say, like, listen, I don't think we should be friends anymore because I don't think you're a particularly good friend to me and I've given you opportunities to improve and for our friendship to get back on track, and clearly you don't want it either because you've not tried very hard. And in my experience, that's when people start to like grovel and apologise, but in my mind I'm already out of it. Like in a relationship, when we've discussed in previous episodes, like you can be in a friendship but not really in it, like you just like over it.
I don't think I've ever had, well, I've never had a friendship that's like on that sort of way where I've had to sit someone down. So I think that's why I don't really know. But I have had friendships like at uni when like we had like a big falling out, like the group had a falling out and it was like split in half. But it was sort of mutually not agreed, obviously, but like mutually accepted that we were like just not friends anymore. Like half the group was still friends, half the group was still friends, but we weren't into friends or whatever. So there was no specific like chat to go through it. We literally just had an argument. It was like, oh, I'm not speaking to you anymore. So I wouldn't recommend getting to that stage though. So probably we needed the sit down chat beforehand.
I think sometimes, and usually in those situations, someone irks you for a while before they would ever say. So I think you just need to communicate it like you would in a relationship. You just need to communicate and say, listen, I don't really like how you handled that. But I don't think it's good either to keep like to make a habit of cutting people off. I feel like you should give people a chance. But then I feel like if nothing improves, then for your own sanity, you should feel confident enough to say, I'm not happy with how like our friendship's going. And I think it's just best if we leave it. So something that's really important within friendship groups is, do you think it's important to be able to trust your friends with your secrets?
Yes. Short answer. I think how important or like deep the secret, I felt like a missed part of a word there. How deep the secret is depends maybe which friend you tell, because like I have different friends that I potentially tell different secrets to. That sounds really like a spy, but I definitely think being able to tell them your secrets and be able to trust them with them is very important.
Definitely. I think you need to be able to have that outlet as well.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I share stuff with you that, you know, not many people know. And it's like, I trust you that you won't say anything to anybody. But it's sort of like an unwritten rule, isn't it? Like, I know that I can come to you and have that outlet and speak to you about things, and it won't go any further. But we've never specifically said, I don't think, to one another, like, don't tell anybody this. Like, it's just like, you just trust.
And I feel like, and when it comes to it, it's sort of like a judgment call of like, whether you can say something. Like, if you told me something that wasn't a secret, but it was just like gossip, then I might like tell my mum, because, you know, it's my mum. But if it was something like personal to you, that, like, I mean, my mum doesn't have anyone to tell anyway, but like, I wouldn't necessarily repeat it, because like I know, based on what you told me, not to.
And I think sometimes, like, I'm sure you do this as well, but I think sometimes, say for instance, you came to me and you had a concern that was a secret. So I don't know, for instance, like, I don't know, what's like a random secret that's not necessarily true, but it's like one that I can just use as an example.
That's what I was thinking. What are you going to say here?
I don't know. Say you had a secret about, like, I don't know. Yeah, a boy. And then I was like, you told me this, and it's almost like you told me this, but I wasn't sure what advice to give you. I might go to my mum and be like, listen, Becky's told me this, or somebody's told me this. What's the best thing to kind of say? So if I told like my mum or someone, it would be purely for like, so I could give you the best advice possible. If that makes sense. It wouldn't be in a malicious way.
Yeah, especially if I needed some like motherly advice and I didn't want to go to my mum, because then she'd know that it was me and the secret and stuff. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
And I think sometimes when someone tells you a secret, it could be quite like a dark secret, and you might need to like offload that on someone else. Do you know what I mean? Like, if someone comes to you and like gives you like this like massive thing, you might need to go and tell someone, like, for your own like mental state. So I think as long as it's not malicious, like you're not trying to like rat the person out, then it's fine.
Yeah. So the next question is, if you had the choice, would you prefer a night out or a night in with the girls? I don't know if that was a question.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah. Personally, I would prefer a night out.
Yeah.
Because I think nights in are cute and like nice, but I've never been like, oh, do you remember that night in? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas
go on.
I was just gonna say, whereas like nights out, I just feel a bit more like eventful, and like things that like, go down in history a bit more, don't they? Usually.
Yeah. I think like they're both great for like friendship development or whatever, but I do think night out is it. They just come with the stories like, oh, do you remember when this happened? Like, right, this isn't a night out, but like last year, the holiday of night of doom, like that plane ride, that wasn't like a night out, but it was like, oh, do you remember that time when this happened? And it's like, and I feel like nights out are like that times 10. Like something always happens on a night out, and it's like, oh, do you remember when this happened? Whereas a night in, it's like, oh, do you remember when we were like chatting about boys? Watching High School Musical.
People think we're joking.
Yeah, we weren't joking.
No, but I think as well, like, we're quite like a glamorous bunch as well, aren't we? So like the night out probably starts with like the getting ready. Like if we were to get ready and then like go out, it's like it just feels like a night in and a night out rolls into one. Do you know what I mean? Like just, you're in, you're chilling, like you're getting ready, and then you go out. So yeah.
Yeah. And I think in both of those circumstances, I like the morning after of it.
Same.
Like obviously the morning after a night in is like still fine, but I think feeling gross and just reminiscing about what happened the night
Yeah.
before is just great.
The best feeling, yeah.
When you're all just like in your hoodies, like, I feel ill. It's just great.
Yeah, it is. But I think at the same time, I think it's good to mix it up. Like, I think if you stayed in every weekend, then you get a bit bored. And I think if you were out every weekend, then you'd be a bit bored too. So I think it's good
Yeah.
to like, mix it up a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so the next topic that we're going to discuss is personal care. Now, this obviously varies from different ranges of what personal care entails, but the first question that we've got is, what hair removal products are the most effective? And also, how do you prevent ingrown hairs? So, Becky, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. So I use a razor most of the time. Sometimes I do like have a wax, but that's painful and, you know, a bit much sometimes. Unless I'm like going on holiday, I tend not to do that. I like getting my legs waxed though, because they just take ages to grow back then. And it's less painful. I have used Veet in the past, the Veet hair removal cream, and even the sensitive skin one, but it made my skin like really red and sore, so I stopped using that. Because especially like in your underarms and stuff, you don't want it to be sore because it's just uncomfortable in like the creases of your skin. So I mean, it worked all right, but you know, you don't want soreness.
No, definitely not.
And with ingrown hairs, I would say just like exfoliate and shave with the grain.
Yeah.
Don't shave away from the grain. No, against the grain.
Yeah. Definitely. So I use a hair removal cream called Woohoo. I think it's become quite popular quite recently. I think they've like recently like taken off, but I've been using that for quite a while. I also like shave, but on my face I get like basically my whole face waxed. I get like my brows done, my lip done, my chin done. Yeah, I'll literally get anything on my face waxed. If there's any hair, I'm just like, yeah, you can get rid of it. Ingrown hairs are like similar to yourself, like obviously just like cut away from the grain and all that. But I heard a tip recently that I started doing, and it is like really true. So if you've got any like particularly sensitive areas, so you know how like men when they like shave, they have like cooling balms that they put on afterwards. And so obviously, because like the face is quite obviously like a sensitive area, if you use that, then it like stops any like redness or blotchiness. You know, sometimes after you shave and like you can get quite like red and blotchy. Just because it can be quite irritating, especially if you've not really got like the best quality razor. Then that's a good thing to use as well.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I think if you're going to shave, make sure you have a good razor.
Yeah.
And it's not old.
Yeah, and I think like, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say those like horrible plastic like Bic razors where there's like one blade and no like soapy bit on it, and it's just like, why have you even bought this?
Yeah, and like men's razors as well, people say that they're like better than women's razors, and I think that's because they're mainly designed for the face, which again is like a sensitive area, so that's like why they're better. Another thing is that I know quite a lot of people that have like dry shaves, and like I wouldn't obviously recommend that. Obviously that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get like shaving cream and like have like hot running water like for a reason. So that's obviously to prevent any injury.
I did hear a thing though that you're not supposed to use hot water because it like opens up your pores. So when you shave, I think that like sort of creates ingrown hairs or something.
Oh really? Well, to be fair,
I mean, I've never had an issue with that, but
I do all mine in like the bath, so I'm just like in there. Like a relaxing bath is not for me. I'm like
yeah. The other thing I've heard someone say before, I've never done this because I don't want to, but is using oil.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Like,
or conditioner.
Yeah, conditioner makes more sense, but like cooking oil to like, and I'm like, I don't want to try that.
No. Like the razor would just slip out your hand.
Yeah. So the next question is, how important is it to you to get your hair, nails and lashes done?
I'm in distress. I've got no lashes on. I missed a nail and like the rest are chipped. My hair is about 3 different shades, like 50 shades of, I don't know, craziness. Yeah. So extremely important. And I know it shouldn't be, but it is. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and say,
Pretend it's not.
Pretend it's okay when I'm not. You know, that TikTok when like, they say you're okay, but you're not going to pretend that you're okay. That's what I feel like now. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Okay. I'll send it to you later.
Okay, please do. For me, I'm a little bit different. So, like, I like having my nails done. It makes me feel a bit more like girly, but I don't have my nails done a lot of the time. Hair, I have my hair done probably like every 3 to 6 months, not very often. And lashes, by lashes I mean, you mean like getting extensions or a lift or something. I do love getting lash extensions, however they don't last very long on me. Like, I think as soon as they start falling out and I have like big gaps, then I'll just pull them out, and then I pull like my natural lashes out, and I'm like, just don't do that. So like pre-lockdown I was starting to get like lash lift, because I sort of let my natural lashes grow out a little bit, so they're a bit longer, and a lash lift and tint like did make a big difference on that, to be fair. But a lot of the time I just don't care.
Yeah, and I think it's each their own, isn't it? I think like it's the same with anything. Like, for instance, having little stuff like that just makes me feel a bit more confident. I know it shouldn't, but it just does. Like, that's just facts of it. So, and it's not just that. I like to go and get my stuff done as well. Like, I'm friends with my hairdresser and my beautician. Like, so going to them is like nice. I enjoy going and doing it. So because I enjoy doing it, putting money into it is like almost like my hobby. Like, just know what I mean?
Yeah, I do love going to like a lash appointment, because you just lie there and they like do their magic. But I agree, it does, lashes particularly make me feel a lot more confident.
Yeah.
Like when I get like individual ones on. But mainly just because you can walk out with like no makeup on, and you look made up. And you know, mascara just doesn't cut that. But like, I am like semi-confident without them, but then when I've got them on, I'm like, look at my lashes.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm very much like an all or nothing kind of person. Like, hi, I'm don't like this most of the time.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Okay, so this is an interesting one. What is your pre-night out routine in terms of like preparation for like going out?
So this depends how prepared I am. So if I am prepared enough, the night before the night out, I'll like fake tan, let it develop overnight, wash it off in the morning, be a tanned goddess, probably orange or like green. Not green. But most of the time I'm too lazy for that. But if that happens, I feel great. And then after that, I probably wash my hair when I'm washing the tan off. So that's ready. And then just like do my hair and makeup.
So what fake tan do you use?
Oh God. I don't know. I think the latest one I bought was the St. Moritz one.
Oh yeah.
I think, which is quite a good one. But I've not really fake tanned enough in the past to sort of try loads and figure out my favourite. Like, I really want to try the Molly Maytan
Yeah.
filter, but it's just quite a lot of money, and like if you don't get on with it, then it's
Yeah.
like what, 30 quid a bottle when
Yeah.
you can get one in Tesco for like 5. So
Yeah, no one knows.
what's your pre-night out routine?
See, mine's like quite extensive. I feel quite bad now because mine is like a few days. So usually if I'm going out on like a Saturday, then I'll get like my lashes and my nails done on a Thursday night. Then I'll go for a spray tan on the Friday night, wash it off on the Saturday morning, and go and get my hair done on the Saturday, like afternoon, then do my makeup.
Is this like a big night out or every night out you ever go
If
on?
it's like a club night out, then yeah.
You go and get your hair done every club night out?
Yeah, I can't be doing it myself. Like when
Oh my god.
yeah.
I'm far too lazy for all that.
But like, yeah. But because like this is what I spend my money on, I'm like, well, this is my hobby. Like I deserve it.
Yeah.
Do you know
Treat
what I mean?
yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So
fair enough. So another topic that you might not want to ask, like your friends in particular, but maybe even your parents, is periods. So the first question is it normal to perspire/sweat more on your period?
yeah, I become like an actual hot mess. Like, like when I say sweat, like I'm not like dripping with sweat, but like I feel like myself getting hot. And when people say about going through the menopause, they get hot flushes. That's what I imagine it to be like.
Yeah, I definitely get hot flushes.
And for me, it's like a few days before I'm due on. It's for me, it's not necessarily like throughout it. It's like a few days before.
Right. I'm trying to think now when mine are. Mine are usually like when I'm on.
Right.
But yeah, hot flushes aren't fun.
No,
it's just such a weird feeling, isn't it? Because you just have like an overwhelming sense of warmth, and then it just like you go really cold, and it's like, what was even the point?
I know. Like, why does my body want to do this to me? Like, it's all hormone related, like obviously, but it's just very strange how that's like a response.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you suffer from period pain, and if so, what do you do to either soothe it or calm it down?
So I do get period pain. Usually like halfway through my cycle, when I'm like in ovulation stage, I get like a sharp pain. I don't know if this is good. Like where my ovaries are. Not very like not really sharp or like really painful, but like I can tell when I'm ovulating because that happens. Which is so weird. But then actual period pain, I tend to have on the first day mainly. See, my periods have changed quite a lot recently. Not recently, over the last like few years. So now I have like quite heavy, but like really, really short ones.
Right.
So they last like 3 days, but they're like heavy. Well, no, they're not even that heavy. They're like heavier than you'd want them to be, but not like waterfall. Anyway, that was gross. So I tend to get it on like the first day, and it's just like, but I don't really do much to soothe them, to be honest.
No.
I don't really tend to take like painkillers for any type of pain. I don't really know why. But I'd rather monitor. I don't know why this is, but I'd rather know when the pain stops naturally than have like, oh, I'm fine now, and then like 2 hours later you're like, oh, I'm in pain again.
Yeah.
So maybe a hot water bottle sometimes and just like put that on my belly. But yeah, I tend to just suck it up and deal with it.
Right.
Yeah.
So with me, I'd say my period is more like, if it was like a graph, it would be like this. So it would be like light and then gradually gets heavy and then goes back to being light. So I'm like, mine's over, I'd say about 5 days. And it's like light, moderate on the second day, heavy on the third day, back to moderate, that's like for the 5th day, say. And I get the period pains on the first day and on the last day. It's like
Okay.
when I'm light, that's when the pain is. It's like when it's coming out, like when you're getting rid of what you need to be getting rid of, I'm fine. But when it's like light, that's when I get quite a lot of pain. So I tend to take like Feminax. I do take like painkillers because I'm like, I shouldn't have to deal with this. But same, I just have a hot water bottle and just have to wait it out.
Yeah. So the last question is toxic shock syndrome something I should be worried about? Now, I don't actually know what this is, so Sarah, please elaborate.
Okay, so obviously I'm not medically trained, but from my understanding of what it is, it's sort of like, it's common with tampon usage. So if you leave a tampon in for too long, obviously like the blood can't, and obviously it's like unclean if it's been left in for too long, then the blood can't obviously escape your body, which is what it's trying to do. And it's obviously got toxins in it. So that's obviously like being stored within your body. Even though you've got a tampon in, because it's not clean and it's not being changed, then bacteria can form on that.
Right.
And it can cause your toxins and toxicity levels to rise, causing an infection. To be honest, it is something that I used to be really worried about, because I think it was like in school we like heard about somebody who like was our age who died of it. So it used to be something that I was like really worried about, and I used to like religiously like change everything, make sure everything was clean. But I think as long as you're sensible, and I think a lot of the time it's like listening to your own body, you know, like you said, you know that you have a heavy flow, then therefore you would change like whatever you're using more often than someone was having a light flow. Like, because you'd need to. But at the same time, just because you're on a light flow, you should be just keeping yourself clean, you know, making sure that like everything's okay. Because I feel like if it's me and I'm on heavily, I feel uncomfortable when it's full. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't sit right, does it? You know yourself. Like, you know you need to change it. So I'd just say, like, regardless of what you're doing, if you're going out, you know, with your friends, make sure that you've got like a supply with you, or you can pop to the shops and get some. And just make sure you're changing it. No matter what you're doing, nothing's more important than just looking after your health.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so the final topic that we're going to discuss today is confidence. So, Becky, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident do you feel in your own skin?
I'd say maybe like a 7.
Oh, really? I thought it'd be higher than that.
Yeah, so I think I'm pretty confident.
You are?
But I'd be more confident if I was like thinner. I think that's like social media and everything.
But even I can't get into that right now because we don't have like enough time.
I think the more thing about being thinner rather than like how I look is like how comfortable I am in clothes and like wearing what I want to wear. That's more the thing.
Yeah.
Because like I think I would have like an amazing fashion sense if I could wear what I wanted, but I can't.
However, who is society to tell you that you can't wear that?
Well, yeah. But
I understand what you mean, because I feel the same way. I think I can't wear that because I'll just look ridiculous in that. But on the flip side,
yeah. So yeah, maybe an 8, maybe 7.5. We'll go 7.5. Okay. What about you?
I'd say like a 6.
You're definitely more confident than a 6. So.
No. I think like, I don't think like, but I feel like it's different measures of confidence. Like, I feel like I'm mostly confident when I'm sticking up for someone else.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like, my confidence comes from empowering other people, not myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it takes a long time for me to be able to be like confident with somebody about myself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I do think there's different levels to confidence, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like if I'm talking about something I know,
Yeah.
like inside out, then I'll talk for it. See, it's, I don't know if I'm like confusing myself here now, but like I think part of my recent confidence spurt is to do with like my personality more than anything. Not bragging, but like, so I'm more confident talking to somebody now than I used to be, but like feeling confident in my own skin, I think it's different than the confidence I'll expose. No, that's not the word I want.
No, I completely understand what you mean though. Like the confidence around your personality is in a different bracket than the confidence of how you feel in your own skin. I completely agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd be more likely to like start talking to somebody randomly than I used to be. But I wouldn't necessarily wear what I wanted to wear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think that's the difference.
I agree. I think I've heard people say before, I don't speak to random people because what if they don't want to speak to me? And this is going to sound really cocky, but that never enters my head. I think I'm a great person, so why wouldn't someone want to speak to me? But if someone says like they really fancy me, then I'm like, well, why? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense, but like,
yeah, well, I kind of get what you mean. Yeah. See, I used to be like that, like, oh, what if they don't like me? But I think like the nervousness of meeting someone now is, I think, me being nervous, not that they'll like me, but that if it's really awkward and I don't know how to get out of the situation, that's what I'd be more nervous about, like liking them and the situation being okay, rather than like, oh, I hope they like me, because I'm just like, if they don't like me, then fine. But if it's just awkward and I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore, then I don't think we've really answered that question properly. But
no, but I feel like it makes sense. It makes sense.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we've explained it well.
Yeah. So the next question is, have you ever considered getting cosmetic surgery or fillers to feel more confident?
So yeah. So the first one is, I'm not very happy with my teeth, that they're not like right. So I am getting them fixed. Okay. I am getting them fixed. Just because, there's like a few, not issues, but they're not like where they should be. So I'm getting them fixed. That is cosmetic surgery. It is like cosmetic dental surgery. And I do want fillers as well. We've discussed this. Like, I just feel like my top and bottom lip don't match. And if I could tweak something, then that's what it would be.
Yeah. See, I have like considered lip filler in the past. Like that's probably the only place I'd get filler.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe here, like I've talked to you about, because I've got weird like dents. But I don't think that's necessarily a confidence thing. That would just be like for my own sake, preferring my lips. But that's what I'm scared about, is like if I don't prefer them, and then I'm like, oh no, like I wouldn't. Like I'm fine with how my lips look, but I'd prefer them a certain other way. But it wouldn't, I don't think, make me any more confident.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I've always wanted my nose doing as well, but I feel like that's just a little bit too invasive. Like, I feel like I wouldn't go under to get it done. Wow. Do you know what I mean? Like, if there was a way of doing it that wasn't so invasive, then maybe I'd consider it more. But I've always thought, oh, I'd love just to have like a different shaped nose. But then again, say for instance, I really like your nose, but would it look ridiculous on me? Because like your nose is built for your face. Yeah. Really, isn't it? So I think that would be a hard one.
Yeah, and I don't like my nose. So. I feel like you'd always have something to tweak, however your face looked.
That's
not
true.
you, but
yeah,
yeah.
What you mean? We've got our final question for today, and that is, at what age were you the most confident in yourself, and why was this?
So mine is probably now.
Love that.
I think just because in the last, like, we've talked about this so many times now, but in the last few years, I've like definitely like learned to love myself and like grown into the person that I should be. It's a bit deep, but so I just think, like, obviously, like we were saying with the confidence thing, but not really confident in my skin necessarily, but like confidence in general of like, I can do what I want. Not do what I want, but like I can do anything that I set my mind to, sort of that confidence. So yeah, just a sort of realizing that what's important, to be honest.
Yeah.
What about you?
So I would probably say I was most confident at around 19. That was probably like the peak of my confidence, mainly because I'd come out of like quite a strange relationship, and I just didn't care. Like, I really did not care what people thought about me, like, and I probably had, like, because I just didn't care, I probably had like the most amount of friends at that time. And obviously it's not about quantity, it's about quality, but because I just didn't care, people liked that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people were like attracted to that. So I mean, I think as you get older, you do tend to like care more in the sense that you're more responsible. But I would like to get like an essence of that back and not think, I don't want to do this because I'm scared of what people will think.
Yeah.
I do want a sense of, oh, well, I don't care what people think. People might judge me, but I'm not going to stop that from doing, like, stop that from me doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that would be that for me.
Okay. So why do you think that's changed since 19?
I think I grew up. So I think when I was 19, I was still like very young. Even though I had like a job and I was like a responsible person, I don't think I was really like grown up because I never went to university like we discussed in last week's episode. So I feel like I had like a lot more freedom in that sense. So I just could do what I wanted to.
Yeah.
And I just didn't really care. You know, I just thought I could do whatever I wanted to do. So I think now I've grown up quite a lot. I think that's why that's changed. I've grown up and I've sort of like considered other people's feelings more. And now I think I don't want to do that because I don't want, but that's sort of gone from one extreme to the other where I've thought, well, they might think that of me, so I don't want to do that.
Yeah. See, I've sort of gone away from caring what people think of me, but more, I suppose this is mainly with my job and stuff, like I can't do that because of my job, or like people at work knowing, sort of thing. Not that I would do anything wrong in the first place, but you know, like saying certain things on social media, like obviously if you're an advocate for a certain company, they might not be very happy with certain things you say. Make sure you click the subscribe button down below and click the bell icon to get notified whenever we post our brand new video. If you like this video, click the like button and comment down below if you found any of our hints and tips helpful, or if you have any advice on the topics for any of our fellow viewers. Not our fellow viewers, your fellow viewers. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.